It is with immense joy and a profound sense of honor that I welcome you to this international commemorative webinar organized on the occasion of the International Day of Families and the International Day of Living Together in Peace, as proclaimed by the United Nations. The theme that brings us together today is particularly inspiring and filled with hope. Strong families, peaceful nations, transformative leadership, and values-based governance for a global culture of peace.
Honorable speakers, respected leaders, faith representatives, educators, youth, women leaders, and dear participants joining us across Africa and around the world. Warm greetings to all of you from New York. It is a great honor to join you today as we commemorate the International Day of Families and the International Day of Living Together in Peace. These important observances remind us that the foundation of every peaceful society is the family. In Africa, we have always understood that the family is more than a household. It is the heart of the community, the guardian of values, and the first school of character, respect, and responsibility. Today, as Africa and the world face growing challenges, conflict, poverty, social division, youth unemployment, violence, and moral decline, we are reminded that lasting peace cannot be achieved only through political agreements or economic programs. Peace begins in the family, where children first learn love, discipline, compassion, forgiveness, and respect for others. As UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres reminds us, quote, families are the basic units of society. By supporting families, we strengthen communities and promote peace, solidarity, and sustainable development, unquote. Likewise, Dr. Hag Jahan, the mother of peace and the co-founder of UPF, teaches us, quote, world peace begins in the family, unquote. These simple words are especially meaningful for Africa today. Africa is rich in culture, faith, and human potential. But to realize the Africa we want, we must strengthen the moral and spiritual foundations of our societies by strengthening families. This event is therefore more than a celebration. It is a call to action. It is a call for ethical leadership, leadership that serves people with integrity, humility, and compassion. It is a call for dialogue and reconciliation in our communities and nations. It is a call to empower women and youth as active peace builders and agents of transformation. It is a call for educators, faith-based organizations, civil society, governments, and international institutions to work together for peace and development. No single institution can build peace alone. Sustainable peace requires partnership and shared responsibility. Governments must create policies that support families and protect children. Religious communities must continue promoting moral values and unity. Schools and universities must educate not only the mind, but also the heart, the character. And communities must reject violence, tribalism, corruption, hatred, and division. Our efforts today also contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the vision of the African Union Agenda 2063, which aspires to build a peaceful, prosperous, and united Africa. At the same time, this gathering support UPF third 100-day campaign for service and moral renewal, reminding us that peace is not only a political goal, but also a moral and a spiritual responsibility. Dear brothers and sisters, living together in peace means more than simply avoiding conflict. It means choosing understanding over hatred, corruption over division, and dialogue over violence. It means recognizing our shared humanity despite our differences in nationality, ethnicity, religion, or culture. Africa's future depends not only on economic growth, but also on moral renewal, family unity, and ethical leadership. Each family can become a school of peace. Each young person can become a leader of hope. Each community can become a center of reconciliation. And together, we can build nations where future generations live in dignity, harmony, and peace. In conclusion, let us renew our commitment to strengthening families, promote moral values, support peaceful coexistence, and work together as one human family. May this event inspire us to become ambassadors of peace in our homes, communities, nations, and across the rich, beloved African continent. Thank you very much, and may peace be with you all. God bless you, and God bless Africa.
Well, strong families, the theme is an interesting one because the family is a structure that must absolutely be prioritized. In the constitution of my country, Gabon, it is clearly stated that the family is the bedrock of society, which the state must protect. I truly believe, that this should be the same in all other countries. It is within the families that strong values, are instilled in the child, in the young person. Values of humility, values of forgiveness, values of peace, values of sharing, values of hard work. The core values are and must be taught within the family before the child moves on to other more associative structures such as school, civil society, or others. So by choosing this theme, the UPF is inviting all families, whatever form they may take, whether traditional or single parent, to educate their children more properly and firmly. Because these children are the citizens of tomorrow, the citizens and the leaders of tomorrow. It is therefore essential that from their earliest education, these strong principles are already present, that they grow with them, not only receiving them, but also putting them into practice. I fully support the UPF in this direction, which will ensure that families remain always active and never passive in the face of events, and that we might call the currents of our time. So families must always be present alongside their children, even when they have become adults. That is to say, beyond the age of 35, the family must always be there, ready to offer the necessary guidance, whether it feels that a family member is straying not only from the values they were raised with, but also from the rules of living together, which require that we respect the person of others, well, the individuality of others. We must respect the law, right? We must respect the rules that are established and recognized by all. So life is like, I would say, a road. When you're on a road behind the wheel of a car, what actually keeps you safe more than anything else is respecting the rules of the road, like the code and the prohibitions that appears before you. So if you respect the codes, you have a much greater chance of avoiding an accident. It is exactly the same in life. If you respect the values that have been given to us, just and relevant values, right? We have a much greater chance of avoiding situations that could be deeply regrettable. So families, once again, must be prioritized, must be guided, must be supported, because through the family, we are preparing the citizens of tomorrow. Excellencies, distinguished panelists, honorable participants, ladies and gentlemen, before entering into our panel discussions, we will watch a commemorative video that will serve as an inspiring prelude to our collective reflection. This video will immerse us in the spirit of this celebration by highlighting the fundamental role of the founders of UPF and FFWPU in the promotion of family values, the renewal of love within families, living together in peace, and moral leadership in the building of a peaceful, harmonious world.
Je vous invite donc à suivre avec attention cette vidéo commémorative.
Today, on the International Day of Families, UPF Africa joyfully celebrates the most important foundation of any society, the family. At the heart of the Universal Peace Federation stand its visionary co-founders, Dr. Sen Myung Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan. Through their tireless dedication and profound teachings, they have shown the world that strong, God-centered families are the true pathway to lasting peace. Dr. Sen Myung Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan envision a world living as one family under God, where people of every race, religion, and nation relate as true brothers and sisters. They teach us that the family is the essential school of love and peace. It is within our home that we learn the four great realms of the heart: children's love for their parents, the bond between siblings, the faithful love between husband and wife, and parents' unconditional love for their children. Dr. Sen Myung Moon powerfully taught that world peace must begin in the family. When families live for the sake of others, practicing true love and forgiveness, entire communities, nation, and the world can be transformed. He describes the ideal family as the original realm of three generations, where love flows freely across grandparents, parents, and children, centered on God. Together, the founders launched the historic marriage blessing movement. Millions of couples worldwide have received this blessing, making sacred vows to live in faithful love, raise children of purity, and build a peace that goes beyond all barriers. Dr. Haq Jahan continues this important mission with remarkable strength and vision. As co-founder of UPF, she leads global peace initiatives, summits, and programs that strengthen marriages, promote character education, and honor leaders working for reconciliation and family values. Here in Africa, this message resonates deeply with our rich tradition of extended family, respect for elders, and strong community bonds. Through the Universal Peace Federation, the founders' vision is coming alive every day. UPF works to promote interfaith dialogue, ethical leadership, and the strengthening of families, because healthy, united families are the key to thriving societies and lasting peace. On this International Day of Families, UPF Africa calls upon every family and every community. Invest in your family. Live for the sake of others. Build true love in your home. Together, as one human family under God, we can create a peaceful and prosperous Africa. Let us honor the great legacy of Dr. Sen Myung-moon and Dr. Haq Jahan by making every family a powerful beacon of hope. Happy International Day of Families.
Merci beaucoup. Recevons sous les acclamations ce remarquable cocktail audiovisuel.
We extend our sincere thanks to the technical team for this remarkable audiovisual presentation, which has beautifully highlighted the therapeutic approach dedicated to the healing of families, as carried by the founders beyond the barriers of race, culture, religion, nationality, and ethnicity. The founders of UPF, Reverend Dr. Sen Myung-moon, has shown to the world the value of families. That is why the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification in the world plays a great role, not only on the spiritual aspect, but also on the social and moral ones as well. That's why, with its religious hat worn, with experience from his all the way from his young age until his passing, himself and his wife, the Dr. Haq Jahan, have shown the world how, through families, we can break all barriers pertaining to, relating to God. First, by showing God's position as a parent, because we cannot talk about families without parents, right? And he comes back to the origin to present that the problem of humankind and the difficulties of humankind have started from the first family who was wrongly managed. The first family who could not promote the values of understanding, of peace, of love, of unity, of respect, and of the research of harmony and cooperation. Thus, the entirety of human history has started by that, and we are talking of the story of Adam and Eve, the history of Adam and Eve, and come now all the way to what we see now, the problems of jealousy, of hatred, any and all problems, the anti-values that we are talking about today. And so he has developed his teachings, and from his teachings, families that in our language our lingo, we call the blessed families that have come up through the marriage blessing are now populating the world and are giving values to the world, centered on God, of course. And the Reverend Moon is talking to us of the four spheres of love and the three domains of the heart. And it's within that we can, as a family, give a good society, a good nation, a world of peace, a world of harmony, that the world is calling the kingdom of heaven. That can only be established through the family. And on this day in which we are celebrating this very important day, we can only congratulate the organizers, but also push our blessed families and our families to become models of understanding of peace and of commitment to peace, so that we can then bring peace to our nations, to our societies, our nation, to our continents, but also to the world. And so bring value to humanity. And so it's with joy and gratefulness that we are greeting all the participants here present and are encouraging them to take part in the panels and the conferences that the UPF is organizing, because it brings value. UPF has done the Titan's work through Reverend Moon and his spouse that we call the Mother of Peace, the Dr. Haq Jahan. It's in their names that we are sharing this point of view, this perspective, and we congratulate you all for taking part in this panel. Thank you very much.
It is an honor to be before you today as we reflect on the vital role of women and families as pillars of peace and community resilience. Women and families occupy a central place in the building of peaceful, stable, and compassionate societies. Throughout history, women have been at the heart of families, fostering values of care, empathy, and connection. The family has been recognized as the first school of love, morality, responsibility, and mutual respect. Within this sacred environment, women often play a unique and transformative role as nurturers, educators, mediators, and moral guides. Their influence shapes the character of children, strengthens the communities, and inspires future generations towards justice and peace. The Bible consistently highlights the dignity, wisdom, leadership of women in advancing God's purpose for humanity. In the Holy Bible, women are portrayed not only as caregivers, but also as peacemakers, leaders, counselors, and agents of social transformation. Proverbs celebrates the virtuous woman whose life benefits her family and society. That's Proverbs number 31, verse 26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. This passage emphasizes the power of women to nurture values of wisdom, compassion, and moral integrity within the home and community. Strong families are built upon love, faithfulness, communication, and sacrifice, qualities that women often help cultivate and sustain. The family itself is divinely established as the foundation of social harmony. Psalms number 127, verse 1 reminds us, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Peaceful nations are therefore rooted in strong and spiritual grounded families. When families are healthy, children grow with emotional security, moral direction, and respect for others. These values naturally extend into schools, workplace, institutions, and governments. Women also play a critical role in dialogue, reconciliation, and healing divided communities. Women nurture dialogue across generations, across cultures, and they inspire transformation. In times of conflict, they frequently become bridge builders who encourage forgiveness, understanding, and cooperation. Jesus honored women as bearers of faith, courage, and compassion, demonstrating equality in dignity and spiritual calling. In Matthew number 5, verse 9, he declared, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they would be called children of God." Women embody this calling in countless ways, through raising families, mentoring youth, supporting vulnerable people, leading community initiatives, and promoting justice and reconciliation. The Bible further teaches the importance of selfless love as the foundation for resilient communities. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. That's the scripture taken from Colossians number 3, verse 14. Today's world faces growing challenges such as violence, family breakdowns, moral confusion, poverty, and social division. Addressing these crises requires transformative leadership rooted in spiritual and ethical values. Empowering women strengthens marriages, and supporting family life are essential steps towards building resilient communities and a global culture of peace. In the Bible, we see the women of impact who played a vital role in bringing peace. The likes of Esther, Sarah, Ruth, Hannah, and Abigail. My favorite being Abigail. Abigail's story is a testament to the power of wisdom, humility, and divine favor. She exemplifies how one person's godly wisdom can prevent bloodshed, change destinies, and bring peace as well as honor. We have witnessed this in our lifetime from our Holy Mother, Han. We see all of her life planting the seeds of peace, love, and unity, leading one people under one God, irregardless of their beliefs, religion, culture, color, to a peaceful heaven on earth atmosphere. She is a true definition of love, unity, and peace. As women continue to nurture values, promote dialogues, and inspire social transformation, they become powerful pillars of peace. By investing in families and recognizing the leadership of women, societies can cultivate unity, resilience, compassion, and lasting hope for future generations. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to give a key speech on this great occasion under the theme of strong families, peaceful nations, with emphasis on transformative leadership and value-based governance for a global culture of peace. From the outside, many African families appear strong and very peaceful. The husbands works hard, the wives sacrifice for their families, and the children are taught to respect tradition and family honor. Yet behind closed doors, emotion pain silently lives in the hearts of husbands, wives, and children. Arguments become normal, fear replaces peace, and finally, members begin walking in eggshells without fully understanding why. In many African homes, undiagnosed personality disorders and depression remain hidden because mental illness is often misunderstood or ignored or spiritualized or treated as a private family matter. Sadly, what is not understood is rarely healed. This conference should provide a platform for thought-provoking dialogue and strategic collaboration, focusing on the need for strong family structure to address the challenges facing modern societies with the strong families, peaceful nations. We are here to champion the discussion to underscore the direct connection between family values and sustainable peace. The conference highlights the family's critical role as the cornerstone of peaceful and prosperous society. It is in this juncture, therefore, this conference will set the tone of the conference impactful conversation. We should strongly engage in sharing insights on how the family can serve as a catalyst for peace and national development. With the idea of transformative impact of family-based leadership and value-based governance for a global culture of peace. Dear members, we need to share on how parenting practices influence the values of behaviors of children. This is the role of parents in shaping responsible future citizens. Secondly, building resilient families in changing world. We need to examine how cultural, technological, and economic shifts impact family dynamics. And lastly, is embedding family values in leadership. We need to explore strategies and various strategies actually for integrating family-centered principles into leadership roles. Let us work together to strengthen families, inspire ethical leadership, and build a global culture of everlasting peace. Thank you for your listening.
This theme reminds us of a fundamental truth. Peace in a country does not begin in major institutions, nor does it stem solely from political agreements. It first takes roots in our homes, in our individual homes, which we refer to the building blocks of society, and in the values we instill in our children. The family is the first building block of society. It is the first place where human beings learn to love, to communicate, to respect others, and to manage differences. Even before school, even before society, it is within the family that human values are formed. A strong family shapes well-adjusted, responsible individuals who are aware of their duty to the community. When a child grows up in an environment where dialogue, respect, justice, and listening prevails, they naturally develop a culture of peace. They learn that conflicts can be resolved without violence, that differences should not divide but enrich, and that human dignity must be protected. In this way, families become the first schools of citizenship and peace. Today, many nations across the world are facing social, economic, security, and even identity crises. We often speak of the visible consequences: violence, crime, wars, community divisions, or hate speech. But we also must have the courage to reflect on the root causes. A fragile society, by which I mean a society that is fragile from the outset, shapes the future. What I mean is that it hampers the future. So, for that reason, we must reflect, as I said, deeply on the causes. A lack of guidance, educational deprivation, domestic violence, or a loss of bearings. That is why investing in the family is a genuine investment in lasting peace. Strengthening families is not just about supporting parents materially. It is also promoting education, child protection, equality, intergenerational dialogue, which is very, very important, and collective responsibility. A strong family knows how to pass on values such as respect, solidarity, discipline, tolerance, empathy, and a sense of the common good. Very, very important. In a nation where these values are nurtured from childhood, from birth, this peace becomes more than a slogan. Peace becomes part of the culture. In that case, we must also recognize the essential role of women in consolidating family and social peace. Very often, mothers are the primary educators, the guardians of values, and the emotional pillars of the home. But building a strong family is a shared responsibility. Men, young people, community leaders, religious figures, and politicians have a role to play in this endeavor. Furthermore, in the age of digitalization and globalization, families face a new challenge, right? A breakdown in communication between generations, the negative influence of social media, growing individualism, and the weakening of social ties. More than ever, we must recreate spaces for dialogue within families in order to preserve the human values that underpin social cohesion. Peace does not simply mean the absence of war. No, no, no. A peaceful nation is one where citizens live in dignity, justice, solidarity, and mutual respect. And this vision begins in our homes. Every kind word spoken to a child, every piece of advice given with love, every family conflict resolved with wisdom helps to build a more social or stable society. On this International Day of Family, we therefore issue this collective call: let us protect the family, strengthen family ties, and invest in values-based education. For behind every peaceful nation, there are families who have chosen to bring up their children in an atmosphere of love, dialogue, and responsibility. I shall conclude with this African proverb: peace in the village begins in the family home. Thus, building strong families means preparing the peaceful nations of tomorrow. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I've had the opportunity to experience a journey that has taken me through several scientific laboratories, the halls of education, and the corridors of diplomacy. This has allowed me to observe the world from many different angles. My conclusions as a researcher, an observer, and a citizen have always led me back to one and the same truth. The family is the fundamental cell, the smallest and most indispensable force of cohesion in our humanity. The laws of nature tells us that no structure can hold together without a fundamental force of attraction that keeps its elements united. In our societies, in our human societies, this force of attraction is found in the role played by the family unit. The family is the very starting point of all truly valuable education. It is within the family that we find the transmission of the first values that shape a truly educated person. And it stands as the first laboratory of peace.
On dit souvent que la paix se construit d'abord dans l'esprit des hommes. Et par voie de conséquence, c'est au cœur de nos maisons qu'elle prend racine. C'est dans l'intimité du quotidien que l'on apprend à écouter, à partager, à gérer les désaccords par la parole plutôt que par la force et à pratiquer le pardon. La paix universelle n'est pas une idée abstraite qui descendrait des grandes institutions internationales. Elle est le reflet de toutes ces petites victoires quotidiennes sur l'égoïsme remporté au sein de nos propres familles.
It is often said that peace is built first in the minds of people. And as a consequence, it is at the heart of our home that it takes roots. It is the intimacy of everyday life. It is in the intimacy of everyday life that we learn to listen, to share, to resolve disagreements through word rather than force, and to practice forgiveness. Universal peace is not an abstract idea handed down from great international institutions. It is the reflection of all small daily victories over selfishness, won within our own families. If we want a more powerful, peaceful world, we must ensure that every home is a space of safety, dignity, and kindness. My dear friends, in the face of the rapid transformations and uncertainties of today's world, the family remains our surest anchor. As members of the Universal Peace Federation, our mission is to recall this simple truth with gentleness and consistency. It is not about lecturing others, but about supporting, accompanying, and valuing the role of parents, the wisdom of elders, and the flourishing of children. Every gesture to strengthen family bonds is a direct investment in the stability of our society. Let us keep in mind that great collective achievements are the sum of our personal equilibria. By caring our families, by protecting this cocoon of transmission and love, we lay stone by stone the foundation of a more fraternal world. I wish to everyone a wonderful International Day of Families and of Togetherness in Peace. Thank you very much.
As a peace ambassador and founder of an organization that uses the family as an effective agent of behavior change, I want to start by saying that I appreciate the foundation that was set by the founders of Universal Peace Federation, Father Moon and Mother Moon, who continues to push the agenda for good families. Our families today require a constant surveillance and constant interventions that can maintain a good family. Here in Africa, we have got a lot of violence that affect families. And I think that the worst case scenario is the fact that this violence is even happening within the household, within the home, where people are supposed to find peace and, security. The theme of the International Day of Families this year, it is talking about protection of children and inclusion. I want to say that we need to do a lot more to ensure that we have peace at family level. In the family, if the child is not well protected, we have a saying in our country, in one of our local languages, that says that the child of today will be the adult of tomorrow. If we do not protect the children, we will not have any normal human being in the very near future. It means that humanity faces extinction in its real sense. I want to appeal that we need to look at how can we intensify the foundation of good families at local levels in all our countries. We need to ensure that our young people appreciate purity as it is supposed to be, a purity in the foundation of establishing the family at marriage stage. And when children are born, they are supposed to be nurtured into useful children and useful citizens. And I want to say that family values have to take precedence. We have to ensure that family values are well established and that our children understand them and they know their family values in their own way at their home, and that parents take their right position. A lot of parents are currently absent in the lives of their children, and this causes our children to be completely confused. They don't know where they belong. It also affects the identity of the children themselves. And therefore, in that situation, the families are at risk of confusion and wrong information and knowledge. We also have challenges because in the global world, technology has taken a center stage. There is a lot of things that are happening on the social media, and our children are really affected because they have access to a lot of social media platforms where they see things that they are not supposed to even know at their young age. So it is now the role of the family to train and teach the children in the right way that they should grow. The Bible says that train a child in the way he should grow, and they will not depart from it. So we find that it is important that the family is at such a level where the training, the nurturing, the management, the inclusion, protection of children must be perfectly done at family level. In that way, even when the children go to the institution, even if they go to school or to the higher institution of learning, they will not forget what they have learned at home. And so this takes me to the fact that we need to ensure that marriages are founded on firm grounds of purity, love, and fear of God. When these three things are together, then we are sure that the families can be in a position to raise good children who understand who they are and who have got the tools, the capacity to ensure that they maintain their identity as children and human beings who are created in the image of God. The image of God is purity and it is spiritual. So I want to appeal that as institutions, as governments, as actors in the well-being of the family, we need to promote that families should understand who they are spiritually before with those such a platform, and we need to maintain engagement so that we can continue to educate and to reach out to families out there until we can help families to achieve the level of purity, well-being, peace, and love. Thank you very much. I really appreciate to be part of this August panel, and I thank everyone. I thank all the people who are viewing here in Zambia. I want them to understand that the family remains the first school, and the family will always be that institution where peace can be brokered and developed, where love can be raised, and where children must find security, solace, and protection. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Chers membres de la Fédération pour la paix universelle FPU Afrique, chers ambassadeurs de paix, chers participants,
Dear members of the Universal Peace Federation, UPF Africa, dear ambassadors for peace, dear participants, dear listeners, dear compatriots from Benin, from Africa, and from around the world, you who are following us from every corner of the globe. In the context of the commemoration of the International Day of the Family and the International Day of Living Together in Peace, we, His Majesty Gilbert Dake Njukwes Abiaku Potokan II, Emperor of the Ana Ife peoples of Africa and the world president of the Ecumenical Foundation for Peace in Africa and the World, FOPAM, take the floor on behalf of the Pan-African Institution of Common Law, addressing the theme Strong Family, Peaceful Nation, Transformative Leadership and Values-Based Governance for a Global Culture of Peace. Before anything else, allow us to introduce the FOPAM, the Pan-African Institution of Common Law. The Ecumenical Foundation for Peace in Africa and the World, FOPAM, is a Pan-African institution of common law that works to unify all religions and spiritual movements of Africa and the world into a single entity around the ideals of peace. Established and duly registered in the Republic of Benin since 1991. It has received and humbly exercises across Africa and throughout the world a universal mandate to build, preserve, consolidate, and maintain peace and social cohesion. It brings together religious, cultural, devotional, traditional, indigenous, spiritual, moral, and political figures from every country in Africa and in the world for exchanges and the sharing of ideas on the role and responsibility of each in spreading the message of peace in union with civil society across our various regions and spheres. Drawing on his operational experience in service of humanity, FOPAM has successfully initiated and led several activities related to peaceful and holistic disarmament and to establishing traditional and political Islamic Judeo-Christian fraternity throughout the world. In keeping with its vision, mission, and core values, FOPAM's interventions follow 10 methodological approaches, several of which are directly linked to the theme at the heart of this panel. Today, the entire world is experiencing economic crisis, violent extremism, terrorism, interstate wars, violations of human rights, violence against women and children, gender discrimination, interreligious crisis, the absence of adequate family education, and more. We believe that the 5 fundamental needs of human beings, namely to eat, to be housed, to be clothed, to receive health care, and to be educated are effective solutions against all these ills in order to achieve strong and stable families. These 5 fundamental human needs correspond perfectly to the 10 methodological approaches upon which FOPAM bases all of its actions. For example, peace through bread, peace through health, peace through education, peace through the art of living together. This is why FOPAM has established traditional and political Orthodox Judeo-Christian fraternity. FOPAM has also instituted awareness raising on interreligious dialogue, citizenship, mediation, and reconciliation, and coup d'etats in all their forms. FOPAM calls upon those in government to ensure that civil society, meaning young people, women, elders, traditional authorities, namely traditional leaders, traditional chiefs and religious leaders, is involved and that diplomatic cooperation is strengthened. Let us make peace wherever we are, around us, and with others. Long live UPF. Long live FOPAM. Long live peace in the world. We thank you.
There are parliamentarians who spoke, educators, women leaders, and youth leaders, ambassadors for peace, dear brothers and sisters. I also want to warmly greet all those joining us live via Zoom, as well as Facebook, X, Instagram, and other platforms. And extend our greetings to those who will watch the program later, because some are now here today live, but some will watch the program as it will remain online. So your participation, whether live or delayed, is a part of this growing movement for strong families, peaceful communities, and a culture of peace. As we come to the conclusion of this international commemorative webinar, I would like, on behalf of UPF Africa and our affiliated associations, to express my sincere gratitude to each one of you for your presence, your wisdom, and your commitment to peace. Today, we have commemorated 2 important United Nations observances, the International Day of Families and the International Day of Living Together in Peace. By bringing these 2 celebrations together, we have affirmed a truth that is both simple and profound. Peaceful nations must be built upon strong families, ethical leadership, and communities capable of dialogue, reconciliation, and mutual respect. So I would like to express our deep appreciation to Dr. Tajeddin Ahmad for his inspiring message delivered today from New York, despite on very short notice, but he was available to join us today. His words gave this gathering clear moral and strategic direction. I will not repeat his message, but I believe we must carry its spirit forward, which means the family must become a central pillar of our peace-building work. Moral renewal must accompany social development, and no institution can build peace alone. So that is why this webinar is not only a commemoration, it is a call to responsibility. So we are grateful to our distinguished panelists who enriched this program from spiritual, social, educational, civic, parliamentary, and community perspectives. Let me especially highlight the contribution of Reverend Jean-Pierre Kadima, Continental Director of Family Federation for World Peace, whose intervention reminds us of the deep spiritual foundation that underlies our shared commitment to strong families, moral values, and lasting peace. So, dear brothers and sisters, Africa is a continent of deep spirituality, strong family traditions, cultural richness, and immense human potential. Yet, we also know that many families today are under pressure. Poverty, migration, unemployment, violence, domestic instability, moral confusion, and vulnerability of children and youth are realities affecting many of our communities. If the family is weakened, society is weakened. If children are not protected and educated in values, the future of our nation is also weakened. So if women and youth are not empowered as peace builders, our societies lose a powerful force for transformation. And if our communities do not reflect hatred, division, corruption, tribalism, and violence, then living together in peace remains only a slogan. If they do not reject those, what I mentioned here. So this is why UPF Africa believes that the family must remain at the heart of our peace agenda. As our distinguished leaders said and panelists said today, the family is where peace education begins. It is where character is formed. It is where respect, compassion, forgiveness, responsibility, and service are first learned. So before peace becomes a national policy, it must become a way of life. Before reconciliation becomes a public program, it must be practiced in our homes and communities, as many of our panelists also mentioned. So today's discussion have also reminded us that living together in peace is more than simply avoiding conflict. It means choosing dialogue over violence, cooperation over division, understanding over hatred, and shared humanity over narrow identity. This responsibility belongs to all of us. Governments have a role to play through family-friendly policies and child protection, of course. Religious communities have a role to play by promoting moral values, unity, and reconciliation. Schools and universities have a role to play by educating both the mind and the character. Civil society has a role to play by serving communities and defending human dignity. And UPF, through the Ambassadors for Peace and affiliated associations, must continue to build bridges among all these actors. So as we continue the third 100 Days campaign for peace and moral renewal, I would like to encourage all UPF national chapters, Ambassadors for Peace, the Family Federation, communities, religious leaders, women leaders, youth educators, youth leaders and educators, and also partner organizations like FOFA and Umoa Trust to transform today's inspiration into concrete action. So let us organize family education programs and promote parenting workshops and intergenerational dialogue. Let us support vulnerable families and protect children, educate young people in responsibility, purity, service, and good citizenship. Let us bring religious and community leaders together to promote reconciliation and social cohesion. And let us encourage partnership with governments, with schools, with faith-based organizations, with civil society and international institutions. As we move toward the Global Day of Parent on June the 1st, let us make this month of May a true month of family in Africa. If each national chapter organizes even one meaningful activity centered on family values, child well-being, reconciliation, and value-based education, then this webinar will not remain only a discussion. It will become a seed of transformation in our communities. Before I conclude, once again, allow me to thank our distinguished panelists for their valuable contributions. Our Regional Secretary General, Dr. Paten Zinsu, for moderating this program, the organizing committee, the technical teams, and for their dedicated work. We apologize for the mistakes at the beginning of this program. I would like also to thank all the participants joining us live and later through Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. Dear friends, let us leave this gathering with one clear conviction. Each family can become a school of peace. Each young person can become a leader of hope. Each community can become a center of reconciliation, and each nation can become an instrument of peace. May our families become schools of love, and may our communities become places of healing and reconciliation. May our nations become examples of peaceful coexistence, and may Africa contribute with faith, humility, and determination to building one family under God. I thank you very much, and may God bless all of us.
C'est sur cette note d'inspiration et sur le cocktail des différentes interventions démarrées et appuyées par celle du président Dr. Taj que s'achève notre webinaire international commémoratif que je vous remercie d'avoir suivi avec beaucoup d'intérêt. Au plaisir de vous retrouver très bientôt pour d'autres webinaires qui célébreront certainement la Journée mondiale de l'Afrique et la Journée des parents. Que Dieu vous bénisse, que Dieu bénisse vos nations et que cette musique puisse renforcer les liens de cœur. Merci pour votre participation et à très bientôt.